great to see you. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this for us. I'm going to let's start off by, why don't you, Commander Kelly? You've been in space for hundreds of days. What do you miss most about life on Earth, and what are you looking forward to when you return?
So, well, we've been in space now for over 230 days, I think. Not that I'm counting, but I'm not counting that closely. As far as the things I miss on Earth, certainly, the human contact, your friends, your family, people that are important to me, and I'm probably speaking for Misha as well. It's very important to him. I also miss the ability to go outside, the weather, the sun on your face, the breeze, the things that, Earth has to offer in that regards that we don't have up here, being, in this very contained and controlled environment for a long period of time.
And Commander Kelly, what's it like to spend so much time in space, in terms of the psychological effects, the physical effects, if you can sort of speak to that?
Well, spending a lot of time in space, whether it's, 6 months, which is our normal mission duration, or a year, is not really an easy thing to do. Although the space station is pretty big, we can never leave. It's, we go out on spacewalks, but, occasionally, in the course of the year I'm here, I've done 2. That might be it. But that's really getting into a smaller spaceship than the one you're currently in. So it's, it's a enclosed environment. You're always at work. So even though you do have some downtime, when you go to sleep at night, you're still at your place of employment. And when you wake up in the morning, you're right there. So, the environment and the pace of our work is not easy, but it's obviously, something that, at least I feel privileged to do. I enjoy the challenge of it, but, it's not an easy environment to live in.
And Flight Engineer Kornieko, if I could ask you, what do you miss most about life on Earth, and what's it like to spend so much time up in space?
Господин Корниенко, хотела бы вас спросить, что для вас значит столько времени проводить в космосе?
Конечно, проводить в космосе столько времени, это не так просто, как сказал мой друг и коллега и командир Скотт. Но в первую очередь для меня это работа.
As my friend and colleague Scott said, the main thing is to do our job well, and we can do it because our crew members are our friends and we work as one.
Commander Kelly, I've been sort of monitoring your Twitter feed and your Instagram page, which is really just beautiful, stunning photos from space. And are there a particular series of photos or cities that you've captured during this mission that really struck you, or are you seeing things from space that you haven't seen before?
So, being up here for a long time really gives you an opportunity to look at the Earth, which is a very beautiful place. Of course, there are certain parts of it that, at least from this perspective, are more striking than others, which, is interesting that, for instance, the deserts are, incredibly beautiful, and whether it's in Africa or Australia, or even, certain parts of Asia. And then the blue water of the Bahamas, for instance, is quite striking in color, but also in how large of an area it is. That is that blue. But then the other things that you notice when you look out at the Earth is how how thin and fragile the atmosphere looks. You notice in certain parts of the world how a lot of the cities are obscured by, almost constant pollution. We see, we see weather systems, extremes of weather that, are occurring in places that they're not. You normally don't see them. I saw this. I took some pictures of a tropical cyclone that was off the coast of Oman in the Middle East recently, which is almost unheard of to have such a large tropical storm in that area. So, the Earth is very beautiful to look at from here, but there also have the the window on the world, so to speak, to see certain things that are a little bit alarming.
So, speaking to that, have you been able to sort of see firsthand, like, can you see climate change happening from your point of view based on your previous missions? Can you see parts of the Earth that have changed? And yeah, what goes through your mind when you see stuff like that?
I don't know if we notice, climate change, I think, in the way you're thinking of it, like, temperature. Obviously, we can't see a temperature rise here. We can't see the sea levels, rising. I did notice one time, which was actually in the middle of the winter. I saw an iceberg that was, floating, and I could see it with my naked eye, which meant it was pretty large, which I thought was probably in a place that was sort of unexpected, especially in the southern hemisphere, in the in the winter in the southern hemisphere, our summer in the northern hemisphere. But like I said, you do see things like pollution where it's almost constantly obscuring certain parts of the world. You see, like I said, some storms where you wouldn't expect them. Fires in the U.S. All summer. Like the whole western part of the United States, you could see the obscuration due to the smoke that was almost constant. And so I think we notice the effects of our impact on the climate, but I'm not sure if we could say it's climate change like the way you might be thinking.
And what would you want people on Earth to know about this mission and what you've discovered? What's one sort of headline takeaway of what you've learned while aboard the International Space Station?
So, we're always learning a lot up here. We've been flying the space station now for 15 years. We do an incredible amount of science, over 400 different science experiments over the course of the year that I'll be.